What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Chicken Bone Alley, brought to you by SRI Performance, Stock Car Steel and Aluminum, RK Motorsports Consulting, Earl Ramey Racing Engines, and Profab Headers and Exhaust. What is up, guys? Let's see if I can do it like other shows do. Hold on, here we go. I got to get this all together. I'm the driver of the SRI Performance, Lee's Tire and Auto, Chicken Bone Alley, number 13, Lucky 13 Motorsports, Legend Car, David Rogers.
Yeah, well, I'm the part-time spotter every now and then. I'm Sterling. What's up, y'all? I didn't have a whole lot to say to add to that. But,
I had to think about it. I can't do that every week, though.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
A lot of people helping it out. That's good, man. Good. Yeah.
Get them all on.
Man, we got to go play in the heat a little bit.
Jeez,
that was fun.
It was hot. Good Lord, it was hot.
It was hot. Ain't no doubt about that.
It was rough out there Saturday. We went to Dillon Motor Speedway and had some fun out there. Sterling got spots for me some. Landon wouldn't. Landon was up there. He wasn't feeling too good. I think he done had too much of the heat. So
yeah.
So
I told him, I said, you want me to spot or you going to spot? What you want? I said, I can't be talking over you or whatever. He said, I'll just tell him when it's green. Okay. All right. Go ahead, dude. You do your thing.
Landon said he said, I want to feel like I'm helping. I said, well, you helping. It's all right.
That's right. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
So
I think a couple other people needed spotters, kind of, sort of, but
they might have. We'll get into that here in just a few. We'll probably call some people out on the show, which I ain't gonna say nothing I didn't say to their face already. So,
yeah.
But you know, but anyway, what you been up to this past week?
Man, just been working and trying to stay cool best you can, and yeah, that's pretty much about it. But that's not all I ever do.
Yeah, I feel you there. I feel you.
Yeah, I'm ready for some boat time and some water time sometime soon, I hope. But
well, you
I ain't
know,
never do that lately.
It'll all of a sudden it'll just turn cold eventually, and you know that won't even be fun. So
Exactly.
Because you know, as we talk about the weather on here, it goes from scorching to freezing, and nothing in between.
Nah.
Somebody put on Facebook earlier, said I would take a 32-degree weather or 32 degrees any day over 104. And I'm like, can we just split it in the middle? Just give me a good 65, 70 degrees. Just for a little while.
I'd be just fine with it.
Just a little while.
Yeah. More than 2 days. We don't get no fall, that's for sure.
Yeah, because normally those come on like a Tuesday and Wednesday.
Right.
Oh, well, cool. Well, cool. Yeah, as y'all can tell, I'm still all stopped up sounding. Finally, I didn't work last Monday or Tuesday because I felt like crap. Went back to work Wednesday, Thursday, worked a little while on Friday, and decided to finally go to the doctor. They did test my COVIDs and stuff. They said that was negative, so I can't pass anything. But
right.
but did have a pretty bad sinus infection, so still trying to get over it. So
yeah, it's hard, man, with humidity the way it is. If you get outside it's hard to get rid of sinus infection.
Dude, I'm telling you. So, but yep. And then, like we said, went out to the racetrack there at Dillon Motor Speedway on Saturday. Got a bunch to talk about there. Had a good service at church on Sunday. Went to the in-laws this past weekend. Me and Kayla and the boys, we were the only ones over there. Us and her parents. All the rest of them was gone out of town this week. So, ate some goulash. Hadn't had no goulash in a while. And
what exactly is that?
It is really it's pretty much spaghetti.
Okay.
Pretty much with some different type of noodles over there. What kind of noodles are those, Kayla? Do you know? rotini, little spiral-looking noodles.
Oh, okay.
But beyond that, it's essentially spaghetti.
Yeah, see, I never really figured out the difference because noodles are noodles to me. They just shape different. They all taste the same pretty much.
This puts a little bit more cheese on top of it, I think. But other than that, it's really, it tastes like spaghetti for the most part to me. So had meat and tomato sauce.
A fancy spaghetti.
I guess. So I don't know. But other than that, ate some of that. And I tried to sit there and watch. They had some movies playing. I was trying to catch the race on my phone, all that stuff, and took a good nap because I didn't get home until I'm gonna have to. Well, I ain't throwing them under the bus necessarily. I'm just there was that many people there, I guess. We were at Dillon Motor Speedway all day Saturday, and the way they had the schedule set up, they had the first 50-lap race for the Grand National Super Series was first, then our heat race, which was 7 laps. Fortunately, they did split it up because we had a good crowd. We had 15 cars there, I think it was. Yeah. So they split us up 2 heat races, which was great. I was in the second one. Then there was the 4-cylinder race, and then right back to us to our main, which was great to get our stuff done. But what stinks over there is we can't move. We can't get out over there until all the races are done because the way that pit is, if you start moving trailers and stuff in there, it blocks up everything.
Yeah.
And so I think we ended up getting out of there. It was 12:45 or so.
Yeah, you might want to start parking outside.
I ain't kidding, because we were doing it. What time we get done? 8:30?
Yeah,
probably.
about 8:30.
Yeah, so 4 more hours we had to sit there. But they was just, I mean, it's not like they stopped racing. They were constantly racing. They just was that many people there. There was a lot of caution flags though. Just throughout the night, there was a lot. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, I was tired going in Sunday, so I tried to sit down, but I ended up taking some naps. But then I went back and rewatched some stuff from the race and all that fun stuff. So there's a lot to talk about from the Cup race this week. But I reckon we'll go into, since we already brought it up, our Dillon Motor Speedway experience this week. Yeah. Start off, we went out. We got there 10:30 or so. Got out on the track. First round of practice. Realized quick we had a pretty good car. Had a pretty good piece. It was turning real good. We needed just minor adjustments. We didn't need nothing major. We were real close already, which was great. We hadn't, the last couple times we've been out, I hadn't felt that way in the car, so it was good going out there and feeling good, I guess. I put together a different set. It was same tires that we've had because we can't get no tires, but I just, checked a bunch of staggers and redid a set of tires and put those on there, and we really hadn't changed much on the car. Made a couple minor adjustments, nothing major at all, and it worked pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and call one out, and maybe some people will say this was me having too much of a temper. I don't know, but in practice, this guy, I don't even know who he was, driving this little red car. He goes in the corner and he's on the bottom of the track, but he's like super slow. I thought he was almost going into pits. All of a sudden, I go to the outside and he comes straight up the track and almost puts us in the wall. And I'm like, what is this guy doing? Well, all of a sudden, he goes back down the track. And so I go to hit the gas and go around the outside again, and he comes back up in front of me again. So at that point, I'm like, okay, if you want to be in front of me that bad, be in front of me. So I hit the gas, lock into his bumper, and I don't slow down until I see smoke rolling off his tires going into turn one. Am I wrong for that?
Well, he taught him a lesson because he sure moved out the way from that point on for the rest of the day.
That's my
He was. I don't know if that was his first time in the car or what, but he was easily 30 mile an hour slower than everybody.
Dude, it was hazardous. I will say that for him to be that much slower than everybody on the track.
In the race, there was a couple times where I thought y'all were going to kill him coming off the corners there, to where he was just in the middle of the racetrack and everybody was having to split him and stuff. Especially coming off the two, couple times I saw, I said, oh, yeah, it was dangerous. Sure, he didn't need to be out there like that. I don't think. I mean, it wasn't safe for him or for nobody else.
No, we might have to talk to somebody up there. I mean, I understand you got to learn or whatever, but that's what practice time, and that's what going out there on Friday and practicing, and you got to get faster than that. I mean, I understand first races or whatever. I get that, but man, you can't be that much slower in front of everybody. But like I said, maybe I taught him a lesson anyway. I don't think he about run nobody else into the wall.
Not that I saw.
He didn't spin out, didn't wreck or nothing when I done it. I just pushed him until he felt like he needed to be a lot slower, I guess.
Well, I think that was as fast as he run all day.
Oh, it was.
Down into one.
I promise you it was. Because I drove even deeper than I typically drive. So that's how the day started off. But other than that, I was like, hey, we're good. Went back out, made a big swing at it because I knew we had. I was like, well, it still wasn't that big a swing, but I was like, let's do a little bit bigger than what I would think we need to do, just to make sure we go enough, and then that way, because we were gonna have 3 rounds of practice and then a heat race. So we made a big swing at it, and it went a little bit too much, which was exactly kind of what I was hoping it would do, just so I would, know that the car responded like I wanted it to. So we took half of that back out, went back out last round of practice, and I couldn't ever hardly get a clean lap, but it felt good everywhere. So I pulled it in. All right, this is where it starts. I'm about to call some people out. Little buddy of ours at the track, I guess you'll say, drives number 4 car out there. Jake Locklear is his name. Good, fast driver. Fast car. He's runs up front every week. We have some good battles with him all the time. He wrecks the car in the last practice. And I say wrecked it. He wrecked it pretty hard. He knocked the entire right front off the car. Went down in turn 3, locked up the brakes, and it just went straight to the wall. So I'm down there with him. My dad's down there with him. We do everything we can, getting tools out the trailer, whatever, blah, blah. Putting him all, getting him back going because we want him to race. It ain't no fun, seeing everybody sitting on the sideline, whatever. They're there. Let's give them the race. So, and they originally said, it's just too much work. We ain't going to do it. We said, no, let's, it ain't that much. Let's go ahead and you got the parts here. Let's knock this out. It was hot. I will give them that. It was hot out there. So, but anyway, regardless, did everything they had to do, got it back together. And he made it out before even the heat race did, and they let him take a couple laps with it just to shake everything down, make sure everything was good. So, get in the heat race. I'm not exactly sure where I don't even know which heat race he was in. If he was in our heat race or the other heat race, I don't even know.
Yeah, he was in y'all's heat race.
Okay, so he was in the second heat race. Oh, that's right. Yeah, he was. I ended up passing him on the last lap. He got into it with another guy on the track, and I passed him on the last lap. That's right. I remember that now. And so, being that said, you had probably a little better view of it than I had. I had the feeling of it, but you had a view of it. The start got interesting.
Yeah, it did. Well, backing up to the heat race, y'all drew, y'all drew for starting spots in the heats. There was going to be one heat to start with, but, y'all talked to the officials about breaking it up into two since there was 15 cars. So in doing that, some slower cars, not as experienced guys, drew pretty good numbers. And y'all had some slower, not as experienced guys starting in front of y'all's heat. And
for sure.
The start was not good by any. I don't know. I don't know what they were doing.
Well, I know what they were doing because he told me beforehand, even actually, and I probably laid back a little more than I should have. But the car that was starting on the outside pole of our heat, the 69 car, he was kind of another one that was pretty slow all day, and the guy starting, because I was starting sixth in our heat, guy starting fourth told me, he's like, man, he said, just give me a little room there on the start. He said, I don't know what that car's going to do. And he said, I know we'll go around him. He said, but just give me a little bit of room, that way we don't wad everything. I was like, oh, yeah, for sure, man. So that's why I laid back a little bit. But that dude didn't go at all, and it really just stacked up the outside line.
Well, it did, and especially going out into three, watching you on the tower there, you just running your normal line, and everybody was. Going into three, well, they just pretty much stopped going into three there. And Jake, he, everybody locked him up, and you did as well. You just couldn't do it as quick, and you got in the back of Jake a little bit. Didn't do anything to him, but you just couldn't go nowhere at that point.
Right.
Then it, everything freed up, and everybody kind of mixed around as they should in that heat, and then like you said, he got into some mess right there on the last lap, and you have to get around him in the heat there. So going to the main, you started sixth, I think.
Yep.
Started sixth. Yep. And Jake started right behind you. And I guess he wasn't too happy, about you getting in the back of him there in the heat a little bit, which wasn't nothing bad, at all that I saw. So he just drove you all down in the corner and won on the start there. I said, what? And he worked. I don't know what he was doing there.
Oh, I was sideways all the way down into one.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to stop on the track. Now, I brought out a caution. And
but they gave you a spot back.
Yeah, they did give me a spot back. So we went got back going, and I don't know how many laps run. How many laps run? Probably 5, 6, something like that.
Probably 5 or 6. Yep.
And all of a sudden, Sterling tells me he's diving low. Jake was back behind me. He's diving low there in the 4 car. So I give him the bottom line. I'm not really racing him at that point. He's got a fast car. I'm not racing him at all. I'm gonna let him go. I'm gonna fall in behind him and hopefully follow him back, on up to the front. That's my plan.
Yeah, y'all were running fourth. I think fourth and fifth at that point.
Yep. And so, and it was really weird because I wasn't really looking at him when it happened. All I know is I gave him the inside line, and his rear bumper's about at my door, coming off of 4. And the next thing I know, he just comes straight up the track, across me.
Yeah, he definitely drove. He definitely drove all the way to the wall, like as if there was no car there. Now, whether he knew you were there, I feel sure he had to know you were there, considering where you were at. He had to see you on exit there, no problem.
I don't think so.
From what I understand, he don't have a spotter.
He told me he knew I was there. So he told me after the fact. He told me he knew I was there. He said he got loose, is what he said. And
I didn't see no loose. I just saw him just driving straight up the racetrack as if nobody was there.
And we hooked bumpers there, and I was going straight for the wall, but I just jacked it to the left there and kind of locked it down because I was already sideways and going every which way. So I jacked it and spun it in the middle of the straightaway. Thank God everybody missed me somehow.
Yeah, thankfully they did. But I mean, your he I think your inside of your front bumper there, he pulled it out about 8 inches. But he
Yeah.
took you hard and it sent you straight into the wall almost. And like you say, thankfully you pulled it down there and saved it. Um, but yeah, I don't know what he was doing there, man. And you know, but I don't know. I don't know if that was from aggravated from before or he just don't know where his car is or his corners are on a car or what. I don't
Me neither. Me neither. And then the whole fiasco when I spun out. I don't know what happened. I'm thinking maybe a master switch something might be messing up on the car. I got to work on it this week, but it wouldn't crank back up. It it is like the battery was very very weak all of a sudden, and I hadn't had no problem with it all day. So then they bring a wrecker over there. They're gonna push me, and I'm sitting there looking like
know.
I don't think our bumper is gonna line up. I don't think this is gonna work. So then they go get a side by side that they got a bumper made on it. Well, the bumper needs to be about 6 inches closer to the ground apparently, because they pushed me. I got it started. And as soon as I got started, I went and hit the gas, and it just starts binding up. And I look back, and the side-by-side still hooked to me. His bumper jumped my bumper, and we were hooked together on the front straightaway. So, so even though all that happened, they put me in the back at that point.
Yeah, we went and talked with the officials in the tower, and they didn't want. All they would say is, he spun out. I didn't. He caused the caution. I didn't. Whatever. So they were about to go green at that point, so we didn't have time to sit and argue about it. So yeah, they put you at the back, and Jake kept on. He was running. I think he was fourth in, and he kept moving up, and he ended up spinning somebody else, or pretty much pushing somebody else into the other person they had spun out. He ended up getting a warning for it. He was just all over everybody, but I don't know. But, you know, at that point, I don't know if it was a line coming loose or what, but the hole on the right side made it a little loose.
Yeah, I was like, man, this thing's getting looser and looser. Fortunately, nothing happened. We didn't lose power or nothing like that. But come to find out, the whole cooler line, I'm pretty sure, my dad took it apart yesterday and looked at it. He said, pretty sure it's just the line. When it jacked around the front end, I think it just kind of twisted the cooler mount a little bit and broke the line loose just a little bit. And it it was spraying oil all up under the car everywhere. So it had a right to be loose. So I felt like with that all happening, I did pretty good to drive back to where we end up, 6th, 7th?
6th, 7th, somewhere along in there, yeah.
So I don't know. But yeah, me and Jake had a little talk after the race. And I telling anybody what I told him pretty much is he's young, and I get that we were all young at one point and got to learn, but that's the thing is you just got to learn and apply what you learn.
Well, and you can't you know you can't upset and tear up everybody's stuff out there. You can't do that.
No.
Because they're gonna be coming for you in the coming weeks. You got to run with them guys every week. Same guys, pretty much.
Pretty much.
Yeah, you don't want to make a whole lot of enemies out there. And like you say, he's a very talented, good driver. Got really good equipment.
Oh yeah.
So he just needs to be a little mindful, and there's different ways to pass people. You ain't got to move them. You can set them up and make good, clean passes with no problem. Especially with the car he's got. I mean, it's plenty fast enough. And like you said, you gave him plenty of room. I mean, I told you stayed up plenty high enough for him, and he could have made the exit off of 4 with no problem. And but anyway, that's something he's got to learn.
For sure, and it was like I told him, and I will tell this to any young driver, and I especially and I think this is the disconnect we have with guys coming from go-karts now. One, there's no respect in go-karts anymore at all for anybody.
No.
But the disconnect is
too, really. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say the disconnect is the guys don't realize you got two pedals in there controlling that car on that track at all times. If you feel yourself I know at Dillon, if I am passing somebody coming out of 4, I know most likely I'm going to get loose. That is the nature of turn 4, trying to turn up under somebody at Dillon. Not saying you still can't get a run, but you'll probably get a little loose up under them. With that being said, and I know that, I'm going to give them a little bit extra room than what I would even coming off turn 2, because I know I can run up to them on turn 2 because I'm not going to get loose coming off turn 2. But I give myself that extra room, and I back off the gas if I need to, or if I need to, I might even, tap the brake a little bit to slow it down. So, but that's just what the guys got to learn, because go-karts now, man, and that's where he comes from. That's why I'm saying that, is them guys, if they pass somebody without taking them out just to begin with, now, they're clearing somebody is being up under them and just run them off the track, off the corner.
Right.
And you can't do that on these cars. There's no off the track to go.
No, there ain't. And like you say, I mean, the go-karts now is pretty much just follow the leader, and you've got to move them out of the way in order to pass them now. There is no two grooves anymore on a go-kart track. So, yeah, it makes a big difference, and you got to relearn, basically, how to race people. You can't race people like you do in a go-kart, in an electric car. You cannot do it, especially at Dillon. I mean, like you say, them walls come quick. They don't move.
No, they don't move at all.
So you got to be mindful of that, and I think he will. He's learning, and hopefully did him some good learning that, and carry it on for the next few weeks for sure.
I think this was not that he hadn't had someone upset at him before. I mean, we all have in a race car at some point, or go-kart or something. But I think this was kind of the first weekend that I had this many people upset and even telling him about it. So
right, oh yeah.
So I'm hoping some of what everybody said sinks in a little bit. Not that I don't want him to slow down. That's my thing. I think he's a fast driver, got a lot of talent. Just has to learn how to use that talent. Like I said, I ain't saying nothing on here I didn't say to his face. So, and I told him I think he's probably one of the best drivers out there, one of the fastest drivers out there. He's just got to learn how to use what he knows how to do. So,
right.
But what I will say, little comedic part of it, I guess we'll say, I thought it was quite funny because they put their weekend recap on Facebook. His dad gets on there on Facebook on their racing page. It says, Ross Chastain, how about use a little more patience next time? Talking for a spotter.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I thought it was kind of funny, but it's all right. We didn't tear up nothing too bad. Already threw some new bumpers on there and get our oil line fixed and change oil in it, and we'll be ready to go next weekend at Florence Motor Speedway. But it's Florence Motor Speedway, but Ron Barfield from Dillon Motor Speedway will be running the show over there. They're having a mass race over there, so that'll be a good little show, and there's kind of a bonus for everybody that ran this past weekend that's showing up and running this weekend at Florence. So we're running for a little bit more money ourselves. We're running for $200 to win over there. I was like, woohoo!
Hey.
So, but speaking of the mass race, I want to touch on it real quick since we had Mr. Jerry Smith on here a few weeks back talking about the Charles Hutto Memorial mass street stock race, which was held at Dillon Motor Speedway this past Saturday. Good race. Not as many cars showed up for it as I would have liked to seen. I think, between just heat, and fuel prices still hindering a lot of it. But I mean, regardless, it was still a good race. I think they had 15, 16 show up for it also. Good race. Good race. Bobby Tumbleston, the first time he come back to a mass race since the New Year's bash debacle there. Fiasco when he won the race. Got called too heavy on the left side, I think it was. Then the shenanigans took place at the scales over there. But he came back, qualified on pole. But there was a lot of extra prize money for this race. One of which being a $300 bonus for qualifying on pole, but you had to draw for a invert. Invert was either 3, 5, or 7. So the worst he could have started would have been 7th place. Best he could have started was 3rd place. He drew a 3. So that worked out pretty good. But what I say, it worked out good. But starting in front of him, first and second, were Jeff Sparks and Gary Ledbetter Jr. And if anybody knows them, there are no slouches in these mass street stocks either. So for a long time, they were in front of him, in front of Bobby Tumbleston there. And it was a tight race. He finally got around Gary Ledbetter Jr. And him and Jeff Sparks kind of bumped and rubbed, and Bobby passed him, and then Jeff went to pass him back, kind of got into him a little bit, and he let him go. Well, then by the time next thing I see is a whole pile of smoke coming down the front straightaway, and supposedly, word was it was an accident, as always. Bobby got into Jeff Sparks, and Jeff spun it down the straightaway. And he was none too pleased with that. They come back hitting under caution and, all this other stuff. Didn't tear nothing up, fortunately. So put Jeff to the back. By about, there was a 75 lap race. I'm going to say probably by about lap 55-ish, Jeff was back to second. Beating on the bumper, but he couldn't ever make nothing work, and Bobby Tumbleston took home the win there. So that was and they were kind of jawing back and forth there after the race. Nothing too crazy, but always fireworks in that division.
Oh yeah, always.
So good racing out there for sure. So that was a fun night of it. So, but like I said, we'll be back next week ourselves at Florence Motor Speedway. And like I said, Ron Barfield will be running the show over there. He has rented the whole track to run his stuff. Well, I think they kind of did a swap out because of the few weeks back. Our buddy Steve Zacharias from Florence pretty much rented out Dillon Motor Speedway for their show. So I guess they just kind of a big swap out.
Yeah. Well, that's good they can do that, work together like that for sure.
Yeah. I guess it works better probably with them running a little bit different rules, which I wish they wouldn't do. I wish kind of the rules packages would line up a little more so everybody could go back and forth each track. But regardless, if you want to run a multi-week thing, that's probably about the best way to do it, doing it that way. So,
yep.
So, anyway, so that's what's up next. But, all right, ladies and gentlemen, well, this has been away for a few weeks, but we're back here with another edition of Hotlaps.
This is Hotlaps, presented by SRI Performance, Stock Car Steel and Aluminum.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another edition of Hotlaps, and this week we got the house full over here. We got a few guys from over here at SRI Dirt and Drag, so I'm gonna let them all introduce themselves. What's going on, guys?
Not much, man.
Cool, man.
All right, who all we got over here?
All right, well, I'm Kyle Pierce, and
I'm Josh Flynn.
I'm Corey Washington.
All right, well, good to have you guys on. Appreciate y'all coming to hang out with us today.
Yes, sir.
Hope y'all haven't had too wild and crazy of a Monday over there. I know it can get that way sometimes.
Oh, yeah, everybody's got a bunch of tore up race cars.
I guess that's you know, I mean, I don't want to see anybody's race car tore up, but I guess we kind of needed them a little bit to have a job, I reckon, sometimes.
Yeah, nobody wants to see it, but it's definitely going to happen for sure.
That is for sure. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to get started with kind of each of you there. So, Kyle, we'll get started with you. Kind of introduce yourself and what is your position there with SRI Dirt and Drag?
So I'm basically just another salesman here. You know, we're all kind of three pretty equal grounds. I've been here at this company for, I think, going on 6 years now. I was over at the other store in Mooresville for like 5 years. I just moved out here with these guys early in this year. But I mean, I've known them both since I've been at this company. That's about my history at this business. So in the parts business, but I've raced, you know, around this stuff my whole life, just about.
Well, that's what I want to get back to. Also, what everybody, it seems like everybody who works at any form of SRI or stock car steel, they all mostly have a racing background. So what's yours?
Well, it depends on how far back you go. I mean, all the way back to when I was little, I grew up racing like motorcycles and stuff, and it kind of turned into one thing after another. If it had wheels and a motor, I was pretty much racing it. But I guess I started car racing with my grandparents in the Bandolero Legend Car days, and then moved on up to the dirt stuff. And I started racing dirt cars around 2009, 2010. And I just recently retired from the super late model racing a few years back. And I'm still playing with the crate late model stuff a little bit with Brad Nelson. He supplies a race car for me to race local and stuff. So I kind of stay involved with it on that side of it, so I get to drive a little bit and still stay involved with all the new technology and stuff that's going on. And then obviously I work in here every day, so that helps me stay in tune with it just a little bit.
For sure, man. That's what I was actually about to say. It always seems to help when you have racers working in the industry to be able to know these parts and pieces that everybody needs when they call in, because half the time they don't even know the name for it themselves.
Yeah, it's hard, man. I mean, you kind of gotta, listen to what they're describing and know right offhand what they're talking about, because there's probably a good chance that somebody else out there is needing the exact same thing, whether it's something you've heard about or not. But it's the technology here lately has been taken off, so that's been a really big uphill battle for us just to stay up to date on everything we have and sell here. Yeah,
these past few years of it, I feel like people, with all the COVID stuff started happening and everything, people were staying home, but it seemed like the technology was advancing that much faster. I think they had too much time at home. They were just figuring out new stuff. So I know exactly what you mean. But if we can here, let's move to Josh. Josh, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yes, sir. My name's Josh Flynn. I've been at this company for 6 years. And, kind of brought all the dirt stuff to it. And the trailers, we service 5 different dirt tracks now. And so that keeps us awful busy on the weekends.
Oh, wow.
It's been good. The dirt market's growing around here. It seems like everyone's kind of supporting it a good bit, and they like the shows they see. So it keeps us awful busy.
I hear you there for sure. We'll give a little background in your history in motorsports there.
Yeah, I guess I was probably, 10 years old, racing go-karts with my dad. And then later on moved into racing super late models. And a friend of mine up home, his dad raced, so we kind of ended up sharing a ride. Me and him, he was kind of phasing out and I was phasing in. So I raced supers for 6 years. And then it was time I got married and had some kids, so no more race cars. But the cool thing is my son now, he raced up at Middlebridge with some mini outlaw stuff, and he's got a micro now. He's kind of used to be a sophomore in high school, so he's kind of got more into playing high school sports right now for a few years, and then we'll get back to racing once that's over with.
Good deal. That micro stuff is really taking off, hasn't it?
It's crazy, man. I mean, up there, it's kind of neat because you're racing against. I mean, I consider some of the best in the country because it seems like everyone's dad or someone. They're all involved in NASCAR somehow. So it's a bunch of engineers and the crew chiefs and everything else. So everyone's the best up there. So it's a pretty neat place to race.
Yeah, for sure. I've been over there a couple times and watched, and I always tell them it's funny because we're only a couple hours away from you guys. Well, a few hours away from you guys down here in Florence, South Carolina, and we got go-karts all around us, but we can't get the micros around here for nothing and all that good stuff.
They got their own little thing. Them and there's a place here in Denver that runs the micro stuff, or the micros and mini outlaws, but really. Pennsylvania and West Virginia, there's some stuff, and then you kind of go Midwest and out to the West Coast for all the rest of stuff. But it's a neat place to run, safe for kids, and it's cool to see how it's grown over the past few years.
Oh, cool deal, man. So far as there at Dirt and Drag, what's your day-to-day like around there?
It varies a lot. I mean, there's different, days of the week. Sometimes Mondays and Tuesdays people are kind of licking their wounds a little bit and seeing what all they need. Then, they kind of get with us on Wednesday or so sometimes and see what all they get. And it's just, towards the end of the weeks as we're loading up trailers and getting people's last minute stuff and getting their fuel to get to the track. But it's interesting. And it's, like you talked about, a lot of our stuff, the business is geared towards the tracks to where if, we have rainouts and this and that, we can tell during the week that they didn't tear up the stuff and don't need as much stuff. So it's, it just varies a lot. Every day is kind of something different.
I hear you there for sure. All right, moving over to Corey real quick. Corey, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Corey Washington. Worked here for about six and a half years. Josh talked me into doing the trailers.
Whoa.
About 5.5 years into it. And,
No.
I guess we're the trailer duo.
Hey, somebody's got to do it,
It is, yeah, and I mean, it's fun because it's always challenging because, I mean, you got so many different levels of people, you got your rookies coming in that, like we talked about, you got to guide them through it and figure out what they need, and then you got the vets that roll on and expect you to have it on the trailer.
Well, man, I'm going to tell you, I'm always impressed every time I go to the track of all the stuff that y'all do have on that trailer. That is insane to me. I mean, it is like a rolling. I mean, it is a rolling store there. I mean, y'all got everything on there.
Oh yeah, we love to pack that thing as tight as we can. And if there's a crevice, we're shoving something in it because somebody needed it. I mean, it's taken a lot of years with a lot of notes every week to try to make sure you have everything on there. Because I mean, it's a pretty bad feeling when somebody rolls on and you don't have something for them and they can't make the feature and at least get some money back. So you put a little bit of pressure on yourself to have what you need for them.
I hear you there, man. I hear you there. All right. Well, we done heard the other two's background in racing. So what's yours?
Mine started out early. I started racing go-karts when I was 7. My grandfather bought me one and we started racing locally and did real good there. And by like 9 or 10, we, moved up, started traveling, running the Virginia State Series and all the WKA stuff. And was about 17. Father got diagnosed with cancer, so we kind of pumped the brakes on that a little bit and took a year or two off. And one of his good friends that used to crew chief for him offered me riding a 4-cylinder, and we ran 4-cylinders for 10, 15 years till we come down here. And kind of like Josh, same theory, had a kid and time to hang the shoes up.
I hear you there. Well, I'm just going to ask because you were more on the path that I was with all the WKA stuff. What kind of chassis and everything were you riding back in those days?
We were running a Phantom with a Phantom Stalker with a Moon motor.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I started on, man. I had a 94 Phantom Stalker with my first kart.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, Harold and them guys, they were stand-up guys. I mean, because we were from Pennsylvania, and being an outsider like that, they really helped us out and did good. And Ron Moon, when he was down in Florida, I mean, same deal. They just opened us welcome arms and made us fast. For
sure, man. And I actually still have a. I got to go pick it up from a buddy of mine's house. We were running some backyard stuff for there a little while last year or so, but I actually still have a Banshee sitting over there.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So,
Yep. I went back home to my grandparents' house, and I still have the Ron Moon when he won 4 or 5 of them in a row down there
at Municipal Stadium.
Municipal Stadium. Yep.
I was there. That was cool.
Yeah, it was a great time.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was back. Good stuff. All right, man. Well, cool. So we know you're on trailers and stuff, obviously too. But as far as man, what's the when you come in on a Monday like today and things been crazy at a racetrack over the week? What's the big things y'all seeing going out the door over there?
That's what's so hard about this job. There isn't like one, and I know it sounds dumb, but it's not like there's just one thing that, that everybody's going to come in like, oh, we're going to have a lot of these this week. It's just the only thing you can really guarantee yourself, and it may sound dumb, but the only time you can guarantee yourself something is if you're going to a racetrack for 3 days over a weekend selling parts. You might as well take a bunch of rain covers, car covers, pit mats, and stuff like that. That's not the only thing you can guarantee yourself selling. The rest of it, there's no telling what they're going to need. I mean, it's just a toss-up.
And that is the awesome thing about you guys, because y'all are so conditioned to that that y'all are ready for anything. And that's what we like to tell everybody every week on this show, is that SRI period as a whole, as a company, they have everything for everybody. And just like you guys going to the track and being there ready for anything to happen, that is what we want everybody to know, is that you guys got a little bit, or try to have a little bit of everything.
Yep. I mean, it's pretty much, we have a business in Mooresville that, sells all the steel. So, I mean, we have everything from the steel to build the car. We carry a lot of that here. It's kind of like a one-stop shop. We got the steel to start building the car. We sell the race gas to put in the car, So, I mean, there's not a void in there that we don't carry or can't get. We're working to be just a one-stop shop for everybody. And now it's hard to do, for every single class out there, because you've got, a lot of local stuff around here. You've got, I mean, almost, I don't know, off the top of my head, 9 or 10 divisions. Especially, I mean, well, I shouldn't bring this up, but tires are a really good example. Just because we get in 100 to 200 tires on 1 week, everybody's like, well, that's a lot. When you split that up between 9 or 10 divisions, you don't have very many tires.
Very true.
And tires are a good resemblance of what getting the parts have been here lately in the last year or so, because parts haven't been able to just pour in here like they used to. You're either waiting on it, you go from getting it in a day or two to having to wait on it 1 or 2 months. So you're having to change everything on how you get stuff, how many you're ordering. All the wait times are gone. So this year's been really, really different for me anyway. It's been crazy because I've never seen it like this before.
Right. Yeah. I was about to say the same thing. It has been crazy. I know, trying to get any parts I've needed. Just like you talk about tires, I drive a Legends car, and there are none, period. So,
No.
so I feel the pain there. We've been working with the same 3 sets of tires for the entire year, trying to make them work. But that is that's a cool thing, I guess, and it's so tough. I know it's tough on you guys, but that's what I've always said. When you guys are racers yourselves, you know the things. I know it's not the same thing every week, by no means, but you know the things that these guys are going to need, and you know there's a wait time out there. So y'all are actively trying to get that stuff well ahead of time to have for the guys at the track.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it never. I didn't mean to cut you off, but it never fails. I mean, we'll have a part that sits here, and that's what our bosses sometimes get on us. They're like, well, you got 1 of these or 2 of these over there. You haven't sold any, in 3 or 4 or 5 months. You might have a guy call here and buy 2 that day. I mean, the parts, they go up and down, and whether they sell a lot this month or don't sell any the next month. You kind of got to find that happy medium to keep on the shelf at all the time. But
good luck. That's all I can say. Good luck, because these race car drivers. I know you guys know, but we're so fickle about things, and that who knows? They might say they want it one day and not need it the next day, but it's always a. They always end up needing it. I put it that way. They always end up needing it. So I know y'all guys like to like you just said, try to keep all that stuff on the shelves and all that fun stuff. But y'all, do y'all have? I know SRI puts out some. Are y'all on board with their monthly specials and all that good stuff?
Some of it. I mean, a lot of parts in racing is kind of geared towards every kind of car. It doesn't matter if it's a drag car, dirt car, NASCAR. They all kind of take some of the same things. But I mean, our shop over here is geared mostly towards, even though it is called dirt and drag. We're all dirt racers, so most of our stuff over here is all dirt related stuff.
Sure.
So, but of course, there's some things, fittings and stuff like that everyone can use. So, we just try to keep a little bit of everything in here, and that's, we always said, you got to have, a trailer full of $70,000 worth of parts to have one $5 item to sell. So if you don't have the track, then it lets the racers down and you lose the sale too. So that's why it's so important to try to keep everything we can find and get, all the time.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of the trailers, I know y'all are at tracks weekly. What are some of the tracks y'all are at that you have the trailers at weekly?
We got Friendship up in Elkin, Horsepower Park, and Morganton, and Carolina Speedway in Belmont, Gaffney, South Carolina, Cherokee, and partnering up with a guy down in Lancaster now. He's taking care of that track for us. So that's enough right there to keep us busy, let alone what we do during the week.
For sure.
Yeah, and the big events.
Yeah,
we'll be at Charlotte for all the events this year, and then we have Wilkesboro coming up. We plan to be at Wilkesboro. Those are the two big ones coming up, and I think there may be some more in there somewhere I don't know
Start
about.
the year out at Screven, and then going down to Volusia. Of course, we was at Bristol for both of their events the past couple of years. So it's a lot. It's good for us because it reaches out to a lot of people that don't live around here. And, we'll find they'll pick up some stuff from us at the track, and next thing you know, they're calling here during the week to get some stuff shipped out for them. So it's good advertisement. It's, then they like the fact that we're there, and it keeps them racing. Some guys that like to come to Bristol from, the Midwest, if we didn't have what they needed, they'd have to turn around and go back home. So it's neat to help guys like that out. That's
right. I hear you. Well, cool, guys. Well, that is awesome. Well, that's good to know for everybody out there. For the guys listening that need some parts that you guys would be specializing in, I guess we'll say, what's the best way for them to get in touch with y'all?
You can call the store, 704-489-2015. You could send us an email, any kind of sales at SRI Performance. We'll get you to our Mooresville location, or they can forward you to this location. It all intertwines together. Those are good ways to get in touch with us. Also on Facebook, our Facebook pages, you can message us. We try between doing the trailers in the store and the customer walk-ins and all the phone calls, we still try to keep up on the social media stuff as best we can. So there's plenty. If you can't find us, then you're not doing something right, because we're out there.
I hear you there. All right, guys. Well, cool deal. Well, I sure appreciate y'all jumping on, hanging out with us for a little while, and giving us a little insight to y'all's little home over there at SRI Dirt and Drag. We sure appreciate y'all coming on, and just appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, I appreciate you having us.
Thank you.
All right, guys. This has been this week's edition of Hotlaps. All right. Appreciate you, everybody there from SRI Dirt and Drag coming on this week, hanging out with us here. But ladies and gentlemen, as y'all hear it every week, you got to get you some parts and supplies and everything else you need there. Also, if you don't go to SRI Dirt and Drag, you're gonna have to go to SRI Performance, because they got everything you need. As we say all the time, guys, they're your one-stop shop for all things racing. Go pick up, guys, anything from fasteners to all your safety equipment to all your performance parts. You need a motor, pick it up from there. They got one. You need brakes.
Got everything.
Need brakes. Talk to our buddy Randy Keene over there. He gonna tell you everything there is to know about brakes. especially on a dirt car. So, so y'all go talk with all our friends over at SRI Performance. Get hooked up with all the good parts that you need. Get on our website, www.sriperformance.com. Fill you up a cart there, get everything you need and want and more, and everything your buddy wants and all that good stuff. Because the more you fill up in this cart, you can use our promo code CBONE10. That's C as in
Chicken.
BONE10, and get yourself 10% off there at time of checkout. And y'all know how that works, guys. I mean, the more you get, the bigger 10% looks, you know. So
That's it, man.
so get as much as you can. Head over there. Same deal. Also, guys, with our friends from Stock Car Steel and Aluminum. They got all the materials you'll need. I know Sterling's riding now for work. You need some materials from them. What you need?
Yeah. I always need some materials, man.
Well, whatever you need, I bet they got it.
They do. They sure do. Anything you need. Structural, we don't matter. Round bar, tubing, they got it.
For sure. So, y'all head over to your Stock Car Steel and Aluminum. Get yourself some all the materials that you're gonna need for your next project. Make it look good, and know that you'll have some of the best materials there are to buy from Stock Car Steel and Aluminum. Always, guys, while you're up that way, heading over that way to pick up the rest of it, you might as well circle the block there. Go get you some horsepower there from Earl Ramey Racing Engines. Call Earl up, get you whatever kind of motor you need today. Y'all heard Tegan Evans on here last week. She is a 100% believer in Earl Ramey Racing Engines, and so am I. I've seen what them things do. So if you want some serious horsepower under your hood, I don't care what kind of application you got. Anything dirt, anything asphalt, especially it specializes in this crate deal. Guys, go head over, talk to Earl Ramey, get yourself some horsepower under your hood, and when you get it all in there, get some time on the chassis dyno and find out what bolt-ons work best for your application, what puts out the most horsepower, most torque, or whatever numbers you're looking for. So, head over to Earl Ramey Racing Engines. Get yourself hooked up today, guys. And one of those bolt-ons you're probably going to put on to make some good horsepower is some Profab headers and exhaust. Because them Profab headers are quality that wins. Because, me and Sterling talk about it all the time, you know. He's around some pretty welds all day, and we have admired some of the welding work that goes on some of these Profab headers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's top of the line stuff, man. It really is. You know, if Hendrix got it in their car, all these ran it over to all these guys running their headers, you know, that good stuff.
Exactly. So go pick you up some Profab headers today, and like we just said, guys, they are quality that wins, and who don't want to win? I want to win.
Yes, sir.
Maybe that's what I need. I need some Profab headers.
Yeah, that's probably exactly what it is.
Well, see, I think that's why I'm getting outrun. I figured it out because the FZ09s. You know who builds the headers for and the muffler and everything for the legend cars? Profab.
Profab. That's what it is.
So maybe that's what I need. I need to get a new motor.
Yeah.
Anybody want to make a donation?
Exactly.
Oh, cool deal. Cool deal. Well, let's I reckon we'll go into this weekend's fun from Pocono. I ain't even gonna lie, I didn't see much of the truck race. Did you see any truck race?
I did not, no, sir.
I didn't either. I do know the winners from our friend Stuart Friesen's giveaways, where our buddy Randy Keene, they were up there hanging out with Stuart Friesen this weekend. Looked like they had a great time. Seen a lot of it on social media. Shared a lot of it on our Facebook. So see all the fun they have. When there's another giveaway like that coming up, guys, make sure you get entered for sure.
Yep.
But Xfinity race come down to Noah Gregson there and Ty Gibbs battling for the win. Probably one of the cleanest races I've seen either one of them two put on lately.
Yeah. I saw them with one to go taking the wide. I said, oh, this ain't gonna be good. This ain't gonna be good.
I figured somebody wasn't coming back.
Yeah, if not both, but definitely one. But yeah, man, that was the tunnel turn was pretty interesting. I'm sure they were gripping that seat pretty tight there.
Oh yeah, for sure. I figured Noah being on the outside, I figured he was about to meet the wall. But But they drove it on through, and Noah got a good run off of 3 there, I guess we'll call it, and brought it to the house. So that was good for Noah for sure. I want to talk about something before Sunday that led up to Sunday. Kurt Busch got in he spun the car out really and backed into the wall a little bit and didn't look nothing ridiculous by no means. As compared to what we typically see in these cars, because the other week Austin Dillon looked like he took much harder of a hit. There's been a few hits this year that have just looked bad. This particular spin of Kurt Busch didn't look that bad. I think even if he didn't drive it back, he could have drove the car back, it looked like, to the pits. It wasn't even that bad. Well, come to find out, he's got a concussion from it.
Yep.
And that kind of brings up some things that have been talked about this new car is, their black box in it isn't showing that the G-forces are that hard or anything, but the drivers are saying they feel it more than they ever have. So I don't get that engineering. I don't understand that, and I don't think anybody can. But I think this is almost proving the point, that maybe they are taking a harder hit than what their data is telling them.
Yeah, right.
So
I
don't know, because like I said, it didn't look like that bad of a hit. So Ty Gibbs got to make his first Cup start in Kurt Busch's car. I think he ended up, I think he actually finished the race 18th. I think so. Now he's 16th in his first race. Not a bad first showing at all.
Oh, definitely not. Definitely not.
Especially at Pocono.
Right.
So that's pretty good. But the big talk is, well, let's go before. Let's actually talk about it in the race. Looked like Denny Hamlin finally gave him a little bit of payback on Ross Chastain.
Yeah, he did.
He just kind of he shipped him out of one there. Just drove him up the track and pushed him into the wall pretty much. Then he kind of played it off, I guess. I don't know. I guess you can't say you wreck somebody intentionally anymore. They fine you if you do that. So he kind of eluded the question. So, but he did it on purpose. I don't care what he said. He did it on purpose.
Oh, 100%.
Yep. So anyway, so that went on. Kyle Busch led the most laps. Denny Hamlin qualified pole, but Kyle ended up leading the most laps. Denny come back and led the last, I don't know how many laps, good handful of laps, or 40 laps or something like that. I don't remember, whatever. Denny Hamlin wins. Kyle Busch is second. I think that's just what it is. All of a sudden, they're about 2 hours after the race or so. Maybe not even that long. I'm getting all these alerts on my phone. Top 2 have been disqualified.
Yeah.
And Chase Elliott is now the winner. I think, and I haven't seen anything stating otherwise, but I am pretty sure this is the first time in NASCAR history that a driver has been declared the winner of a race and not led a single lap of the race.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy, bro. Well, it's the first time a winner has been disqualified since, what, 1960 or something?
Oh, it's been a while. Been a long,
long
time.
time.
So,
Yeah.
claiming there was some material on the front end that was just extra material, basically, which I ain't really figured out. They say they didn't see it till they pulled the wrap off. But my thing is regardless if a wrap is on it or not, shouldn't their laser scanner be picking that up if it's out of a tolerance?
You would think. You would definitely think so.
I would think so too. But apparently it was egregious enough. It was announced today that Joe Gibbs is not appealing either penalty.
All right.
So I saw that this afternoon. So they were like, "Yep, we're wrong." So,
well, if they're not taking any points away, and last I heard they weren't planning on taking any points or
no suspensions,
playoff points, no suspensions. So it really don't. I mean, it ain't gonna affect them at all, as far as in the chase and whatever, or in the playoffs.
No, it just took everything away they had for Sunday. But what I haven't, and I need to find somebody to ask the question directly to, so I'll get a better understanding of it. Let's say, like the stages throughout the day, Kyle Busch, I think, won some. Denny Hamlin was in the top 10. All right, does that take throughout the day? Did they lose those points also, and everybody moved up one space in that also?
I would assume. I would say they would get basically 0 points for today if they. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
that's what it was. They got 0 points for the day. So I'm just wondering, those points, the bonus. Those are what considered playoff points or whatever it is.
Right. Yeah.
So I guess all that, I don't know. So I need to. They got it. It's too confusing anymore, man.
Oh, it definitely is. Ain't no doubt about that.
It's too confusing. I don't know. So.
But yeah, so Chase won, and he said, "I don't even want the trophy." he didn't seem too thrilled about winning it that way or whatever. So.
Well, you don't want to win it that way by no means, especially when you didn't lead any laps. But I mean, I get what he's saying, but when apparently the two cars that outrun you are seemingly, I know everybody's like, "Oh, that wasn't enough to do anything." No, that's not how this works anymore, people. They go off. I guess thousands of pounds of downforce. I mean, any little thing helps these cars so much.
Right.
So, no, you don't want to win it like that. But when they're apparently egregiously illegal, then you were the fastest legal car there that day.
Exactly.
So I'd take it, be happy with it, move on. I guess his thing is, I guess the thing is, and I've heard people do this stuff before, especially with, like in the cup stuff. We hadn't had a winner necessarily, but I guess that's rain races and stuff like that. Nobody brags about it too much because then you got all the other people on the internet now. Oh, you wouldn't have won if it wasn't this, blah, 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 blah. So it's just like, all right, just take it and be quiet with it now, I guess.
Yeah, essentially so, yeah.
So, I don't know. Also, guys, I want to thank MPM Marketing, McAllister Precision Marketing. Guys, if you want to advance your career in motorsports, you want to move up to the next level, you want to get your name in front of those faces that they need to be in front of. You need to be in front of certain eyes in certain areas and in different aspects of the sport. You need to get it with a good marketing company, and there's none out there better than MPM Marketing, McAllister Precision Marketing, guys. Call Tanya over there, get hooked up with her today. She does everything that you need and don't have time for. that is the biggest thing. And she makes it way better than you would have ever made it anyway. when it comes to social media, all the digital design, just everything, guys. She will make your brand be one of the best brands out there. So head over to marketwithmpm.com and tell Tanya we sent you, and you will not be disappointed for sure. So, well, what else coming up this week?
Oh, yeah, I know that what the Indy Pro Course is this weekend. That'll be interesting for sure.
That one always is.
Yeah, definitely. It's a lot better than running Indy, the oval, I guess.
I want to see what they're doing with them bumps that they had.
Yes.
Those be
Interesting.
see if they tear off the front end of any more cars.
Right.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. I want to give a good shout out to our buddy Devin Morgan, bringing home a win this past weekend in the 602 late model. He was up on the wheel. It felt like me, except I didn't come home with a win. I went to go to victory lane, and they noticed a trail of oil coming from the car. Had a hole in the oil pan after the race. Didn't hurt the motor, nothing. Just all of a sudden after the race, it starts pouring out. So, so he said he didn't even drive the victory lane; just went straight to the trailer because their trailer was right there. He pulled off the track good. So
I'm glad he saved it.
yeah, for sure. So congratulations to our buddy Devin Morgan bringing that win home. I think that's like his fourth win of the year, fourth or fifth. He's had a good ride, a good piece all year. So
yeah, for sure. Will Harrington's doing well too now, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Supercar.
for sure. He had a second place finish at where was he at? Was that Scriven?
Yeah, I believe it was.
Yeah.
He
Ran second
ran
to
Friday and Saturday.
Yep, ran second to Brandon Overton. That's right. So yeah, proud of our buddy, the wheel man, Will Harrington there.
That's right.
Yeah, that was been some good racing going on in the Southern National Tour there, and all these other ones. Man, summertime is big time for dirt racing. I mean, there's just so much going on. I always say I want to get people on here in summertime. Shoot, I can't get nobody on here because everybody's racing. They race every day.
Constantly. Yeah.
Yeah, which is awesome. There's been more racing action on flow racing and everything else, and you can even stand to see. So y'all go check out some good racing action. There be some guys that you know on the tube for sure. So anyway, guys, well, I reckon that's about it. What you think?
Yeah, I believe so, man. We'll go back to work here, I reckon, you know.
Well, good
That's
deal.
fun.
Oh yeah, a blast. Well,
Yep.
Good deal here. Well, I'm gonna go play some softball, I think.
Well, good luck, man. Y'all don't get too hot. Luckily, you got a late game, so
Yeah, we got an
maybe it
8
won't be
o'clock
too hot.
game, so I'll go give me some Gatorades and head over there, and hopefully sun be, if not down, but about down by the time we start playing.
Right.
So I haven't picked up my gloves since I played the last game last year, so
Hey, man, just like riding a bicycle.
I reckon so. We'll see. Church league is fun, but it's fun.
Yeah.
Fun stuff. Oh, good deal. All right. Well, we sure appreciate all our partners on here. SRI Performance, Stock Car Steel and Aluminum, RK Motorsports Consulting, Earl Ramey Racing Engines, Profab Headers and Exhausts, MPM Marketing. Also, guys, Forward Bite Apparel. y'all go check it out. Also, check out old Cole Vanderheiden, making his rookie season in 305 sprint and making a big season out of it. Also, he has been up front, doing good, making a name for himself. First in the national rookie standings in the 305 Race Saver sprints. So y'all go check him out. Check out some Forward Bite apparel. Also, get just some cool looking gear. Everybody likes cool T-shirts and everything, and if you don't want to, I'm kind of one that I know all these guys. It's tough to wear a driver shirt out to your track now. When you're trying to talk to the other one, they're looking at you like, "Hey, well, you wearing his shirt?" I'm like, "Oh man," So, you gotta wear some Forward Bite, man. So go get some Forward Bite apparel there, and all that fun stuff. Also, Checkered, the race hub, social media for racing, for racers. Everybody wants to get the Checkered, so head over to Checkered. See a bunch of all racing content all the time. Jump on there. They do some micro sponsorships on there. If you got a team there, get some people to micro sponsor you. If you don't have a team there, hey, type in Chicken Bone there and become a micro sponsor of our show. So anyway, guys, well, I reckon that's gonna about do it for this week. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us for sure. I reckon that's about it. What you think?
Yes, sir. I believe so. Yeah, it was a good one for sure. Everybody stay cool. It'll be a hot week.
It is. It definitely is. If your track is racing, I saw a bunch of your tracks canceled this past week for excessive heat. So if your track is racing, make sure you stay cool out there. I know even at Dillon, the guy had to get out the car the other day because he was just too hot. He had to stop in the middle of the track. Said he was seeing spots and everything else. I was like, oh, Lord. So make sure you hydrate, and you can't just hydrate day of. You got to start a few days ahead of time for sure. So anyway, guys, appreciate y'all hanging out with us, and I reckon we will see y'all next week.
Later.